only on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're gonna look at game number 1 in our 20 for the Nintendo Entertainment System series. This is the first in a long running series of fantastic adventure games, fantasy adventure games created by Nintendo. First in 1986 with the very first game, The Legend of Zelda. This game was so darn cool, it came on its own golden cartridge. And there it is. Yep. It had a battery backup on it, I guess, because the game is so darn long and you want to save your progress. That doesn't look like a whole bunch of connected screens. There's like 128 of them, but that's just the overworld. There is also the underworld. There's a number of dungeons that have several connected rooms. And there are a bunch of underground areas you can go to purchase items, talk to different people. So much to do in this game. I got this and I was totally blown away. And there's a little bit of a backstory. It talks about Link, the young hero in the game, and the princess Zelda. And there's an evil giant pig, or it looks like a pig, named Ganon. He looked more humanized as the series wore on. And you have to recover shards of what is called the Triforce, and they are scattered over various different dungeons. And there are a total of 9 dungeons, and 8 pieces of the Triforce in 8 of the dungeons. And then the final dungeon you have to destroy Ganon. And there are so many weapons and items that you can pick up that can help you. This game is just so deep. It was so impressive, and I like that they plugged the instruction manual there. But yeah, this game is really awesome. You get to register your name. You don't just put in initials. I mean, you do that here, but you also see from 3 different characters that you can select. I mean, 3 different possible saved games, but I have no saved games yet. And I'm going to name my guy Dooders. It's kind of a informal name for just a person. Dooders. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And to begin with, you are right outside a lower area where you can collect your first sword of the game. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. You'll see that old man, that same old man, several times in the game. He's often there to give advice, but sometimes he gives you items and stuff. And when you have full health, and see I have 3 hearts under where it says life, you can have up to 16 hearts. When you have full health, when all those hearts are fully red, then you can cast a beam from your sword, and it'll fly across the screen. And this guy says, "Buy something, will ya?" I think there was a shopkeeper in Kid Icarus that said something similar. But that shopkeeper will have 3 items that you can purchase. But I only have 3 coins. Alright, got some more. You get coins from defeating enemies. And they can be single coins worth 1, what's called a rupee. That's the currency in Legend of Zelda. Or there will be solid blue coins that are worth 5. You can also collect, whoops, now that I've now that I don't have full health, I can't cast that beam anymore for my sword. Yeah, if all your hearts are white, obviously you will die. You can also collect recovery hearts from the enemies. Sometimes there was one. Sometimes there will be a fairy. We're not going to do a full playthrough. We're just going to scoot forward and see. Ooh, I got some bombs. This is a new weapon. You can also purchase bombs from shops. We're just going to scoot forward. We're not going to do a full playthrough. That would take way too damn long. Note that there are different colors of certain enemies, and some will be stronger than others, or they will take more damage to destroy. And sometimes you can also collect a stopwatch from defeated enemies, and you will be invincible as long as you remain on that screen. And there I used a bomb to open up a new hole, a new shop. Anytime you encounter this guy that gives you a choice of a jar of water or a heart, get the heart. See, that increases your life meter by 1. Always get that. You will have opportunities to get the jar of water later on, and that jar of water is called the water of life. And if the jar is blue, you can refill your life completely once. If it is red, you can refill it twice. The red jar will turn blue, and then you can use that blue one again. And there I made another hole in the wall. Sometimes you will be able to get some free coins. It's a secret to everybody. And sometimes it will cost you coins. They'll say, pay me for the door charge, because you destroyed the wall. Well, how else are they going to get out? Silly. But here we will purchase a candle, and this candle will shoot out a flame, but you can only use it once per screen. Once while you're on that screen. And note that the screens will only scroll over when you reach the edges of them. We'll scoot forward here. And we'll use the candle. You can burn away trees sometimes and open up new underground areas. And I get some more free coins. Some of the items in the shop will be expensive, so it's a good idea to know where these free coin areas are. Note that the red, I believe they were called Octoroks, require less hits to destroy, in fact just 1, than the blue ones. They take 2. And here is the first level, the first dungeon. And all the dungeons have a specific shape to them. This first one is in the shape of an eagle. And I think that looks more like a magic lamp. But it's called Eagle. They have names for the shapes. And you will see a map start to unfold. There will be a map you can collect in here. There will also be a compass. And that will show where the boss is in the dungeon that you need to defeat to regain 1 piece of the Triforce. Once you've beaten a level, you can still go back in and explore. In some rooms, there will be stones that you can push. And it may open a door, it may open a special underground staircase. And sometimes there will be the old man giving advice. If you shoot the old man, flames will spit fireballs at you. But we're just going to look at the various enemies that are typical in this area. There will be these traps that are sensitive to you, and they will start moving towards you if you get on the same plane that they're on. And here is the first item you can pick up. The first special item in dungeons. And it is the bow. And you will need arrows for it, which I do not have right now, but you can purchase arrows at shops. When you are almost out of energy, you will hear a little beep sound. And there I gained my first boomerang. There will be another boomerang later on in the game. Boomerang is pretty useful. We'll look at that later. Right now we have these hands. Don't get caught by the hands, or they'll take you to the entrance of the dungeon. And here is the boss. If you have bombs, the boss is a cinch. Otherwise, you're going to have to sneak in a shot when he's not trying to shoot fireballs at you. Whoops. Only 2 hits, so save your bombs for this guy. and you will get another heart container for beating the boss. And then you get to go collect the piece of the Triforce. I love the music in this game. The music for the dungeons, the music for the overworld. Really, really good tunes. Nintendo was this was easily one of their best games for the system, and I think it is their best game. We're going to look at some of the various enemies. These guys are called P-Hats? Something like that. You can only kill them when they've stopped. And here's another underground area that you go to by touching a statue and making it move. And sometimes, yeah, the old man will just give you advice. Yeah, you can use that boomerang to stun enemies briefly. And you want to collect this letter. This is a northern part of the fantasy realm called Hyrule. Here's another underground area. Always take that heart. There will be other places you can get a heart, and we'll look at those. You can purchase a shield upgrade. It upgrades your puny shield once, and you can go inside this waterfall and pay this old woman for advice. These guys are super tough. Try not to engage them early on in the game, but if you can get by this one here, then you can go in this cave, and if you have 5 hearts, and I have more than that, you can collect this sword upgrade. There is a white sword, and later on there will be a magical sword, and that will be the last upgrade. And this is where you give the old woman the letter that you collected. And she will sell you water of life. And again, you can use the blue jar once, you can use the red jar twice. And so when you run out of life, select the water of life and use it, and you'll refill all your life. Yeah, the boomerang is quite handy. You can shoot it in all directions. Well, 8 directions. Here is the second level, second dungeon, and I've got enough strength on my white sword that I can hit the blue Octoroks with one shot from my beam or just regular sword. And sometimes they'll release a fairy that will restore, I think it's like 4 hearts, or maybe just half your life meter, I'm not sure. We're just going to look at the various enemies, and these snakes will speed up when they're on the same plane as you. And this level is in the shape of a moon. And we have these boomerang throwing enemies called, I think, Goombas. Eventually I will play with cheats. I'm being really clumsy here. I hate the rooms where there's the statues that shoot fireballs a lot. There I got my boomerang upgrade. And this centipede thing, whatever it is, it's susceptible to all kinds of weapons. There I used my blue water of life to restore my energy. You can use the candle, you can use your sword beam from far away, you can probably use bombs. There will be a lot of sub-bosses, and that was a sub-boss. This boss is a rhinoceros, and you have to feed him 2 bombs to destroy him. So make sure you have enough bombs. I love the sound effect of the boss screaming, "Rawr!" and you can hear it sometimes over the music. Really, really cool touches to this game. I was just so blown away when I first played this. Definitely had to have this game, and it is great. And there I bought some arrows. Now, since I have the bow, I can shoot arrows. And they will cost you 1 coin, or 1 rupee. I have 84 rupees, now 83, 82. I would not use the bow and arrow too often, but there are some enemies that it is very, very useful against. And here is a great shop here. That blue ring for a whopping 250 will cut the damage dealt to you in half. And here is a room where you can restore all your energy from the fairy. And this, I believe, is level 3 over here. And levels have different colors. They're in different shapes. The second level was in the shape of a moon. This one's in the shape of what's supposed to be what's called a manji, but it looks like a swastika. Nintendo took a little bit of a gaff from its resemblance to a swastika, the Nazi symbol. But it totally not Nintendo's intent. And we're just gonna look at various new enemies, new weapons you can pick up from the various levels or dungeons. And this is the raft. Yeah, see, the magical boomerang will fly further than the regular boomerang. These puffballs here, I think if they're a solid red, they will steal your giant shield if you bought one. And the giant shield is more protective. See, it's starting to look like a swastika. That bomb is super useful against that particular boss. And then we get another heart container, and we're up to 8 now. And you get all your energy refilled once you collect a Triforce shard. And here is a dock where you can use the raft. And we'll go across the sea, and I think we get an extra heart container. Oh, no, that's level 4. There are some docks where you can use the raft and get more heart containers. We'll see that later, I think. Or that's somewhere on the east coast of Hyrule. You'll want to have a map on hand, because there's going to be, like I said, it's 128 screens. But we're going to look at some highlights of level 4. These guys, if you can burn them, it might take out the little bats that it leaves behind. And these big, looks like a stack of salt pork or something. If you let them grab onto you, they'll just keep on hurting you, and you'll need to wail on the joist or the sword button. And this time we get the ladder, and this ladder will let you go across small stretches of water. Small ones, not something that big. I think I die here. Yeah, just to show you what a death looks like on this game. And then you can continue, save all your information there, or you can just start over from the beginning of the game. And you can use bombs in the dungeons to blow up walls. Ooh, free coins. And here is the boss of level 4. You have to destroy its heads. Well, its heads will break off of its body once you hit one head enough. But you don't need to destroy that head that broke off. You need to just keep hitting the main dragon, and then you'll eventually defeat it. And we'll soon look at level 5. I think this was where another shop was. Or maybe it was a heart container. Yep. Always get that heart container. And like I said, now that we've given the old woman the letter, she'll eventually have... There'll be shops where I can buy the red potion if I want. This area, if you go like to the right or down, you will get lost. I mean, it'll just keep showing these same rocks. If you go up 5 times, then you will go to level 6. Or was this 5? I kind of lost count. Sorry. You can also go in through that door, or that area there, level 5, by touching one of those statues. If you collect that stopwatch, you will be invincible for as long as you stay on that screen. So you can just kill enemies and they won't resist; they'll be frozen. And yeah, now that I have the ladder, I can go across lava or water as long as it's just a small divider. Here's another underground area. Sometimes the underground areas will just warp you to another underground area somewhere on the map instead of lead you to an item. See? Those knights, if they're facing you, they will block your attacks, so you need to hit them from the side. There, now I could get what's called the recorder, or a flute. And this can be useful against certain enemies. It can also warp you to a different area. The whistle from the warp whistle from Super Mario Bros. 3, that originated in Legend of Zelda. If you have 100 coins to spare, you can hold a maximum of more bombs. Do that. These bombs are super useful in these dungeons in opening up areas that might look like you have no access to. And if you play the whistle against this guy, he will break down into a smaller enemy, which you can destroy. Yeah, not here, but a little bit later on, I put on an invincibility code. And we got those mummies that can take a long time to kill if your sword isn't really strong. You can have a maximum of 16 bombs if you see that one guy twice, and he'll appear, I think, in a later dungeon. That power bracelet that you can collect by touching one of the statues, I put on invincibility by this point here. Look, it's the NBC logo, the old one. Various areas. Once you have the power bracelet, you can warp to a different area in the game, and they will all those areas will have a boulder you can move to access the warp tunnel. Kind of handy dandy. And if you use the flute anywhere in the overworld, you can have a tornado take you to a different level opening or dungeon opening. See, there was the first level. And by this point, I'd gotten the magic sword. And the magic sword you can get from a guy in a graveyard, which is on the west side of Hyrule. And this is the way you access level 7. I kind of skipped forward to certain parts, but yeah, make sure you're strong enough to face those satyrs, because they are really strong. And this is level 6. It's got a gold interior. And yeah, we're back to the regular sword. I kind of skipped around parts. But I'll show you where to go to get that magical sword. To get the magic sword, you have to have, I think, 12 hearts out of 16, which I have. And these are, they're called whiz robes, and they are pretty strong. And if you don't have your magic shield, which is the only shield upgrade, then all their spells can hurt you. but your magic shield will block them. And remember, those snowballs or puffballs or whatever can steal it. The blue puffballs will keep you from being able to use your sword for a very short while, like a few seconds. But the red puffballs will take your magic shield away and leave you with the crappy regular wooden shield. And yeah, from this point on, a lot of those underground areas that open up when you push a certain block will just be warp areas. They won't lead you to see the roast pork or whatever that is latched onto me. And this boss you need to use the arrows on. And you just have to shoot him in the eye once. Later on you will have to shoot him in the eye a lot more. He'll make reappearances in later dungeons. Not as a main boss, but as a sub-boss. Yeah, a lot of these bosses that you've already fought, they will return as sub-bosses. This guy's a lot tougher because he's got more heads than before. And the heads will break off eventually and start flying around and maybe spitting fireballs. But you want to concentrate on the rest of the body and start breaking heads off of that. Because once you defeat the main body, then all the heads will disappear. Yeah, I put on invincibility by this point. And is this an item? Yep. This is the magic wand or magic rod. And this will fire a magic beam across the screen. It's like the same kind of beam that the wizards used. And there are orange wizards that are stationary and blue wizards that are far more dangerous and more mobile. And this is the graveyard area on the west side of Hyrule. And there is one of these rooms where you can push a tombstone, and that's where you can get the magic sword, the final sword upgrade. Touch any other tombstone though, and you'll likely make a ghost appear that you can't kill. But if you managed to kill the first ghost that appears after they all appear, then they will all disappear. You'll have a bunch of coins and whatnot to collect. And yes, I had enough hearts, so I can collect the magic sword there. And those satyrs, or goats, or whatever, are much easier to kill now with the magic sword. Yeah, I was crazy about this game back in the day. There is the Lost Woods. If you don't go the right direction, then you will get lost. Just like the rock formations to the north. It's like, I think, up, left, down, left, and you can go to the graveyard from there. But nearby is level 7. And here's that guy you need to use the flute on to make him break into those smaller pieces, which you can destroy with your sword. I hate those areas where there's a bunch of statues that shoot those fireballs. There's another hint. There's a secret in the tip of the nose, and what he means is that this is what is this? The demon shaped map. So it's the nose part of the demon. Yeah, and that would be the northeast tip. And note that you need keys for certain doors. Eventually you'll get a magic key. This guy just says grumble, grumble, and you cannot pass him until there was one shop that will sell you food. And there's the food, and you need to feed that, I forget what it was called, but it wasn't Goomba, it was Goria or something, but you need to use the food on him, and then he'll allow you passage north. Ta-da! You can also use the food as a decoy, and the enemies will go after the food instead of you. And there will be dark rooms that you'll need to use a candle in. There will eventually be a red candle that you can pick up. Hey, look at it. Right there. Red candle. And you can use that as many times as you want on one screen. And with the blue candle, you can only use it once on that one screen. Don't walk into the flame. You'll hurt yourself. Unless you have invincibility on. I am sorry, I do not remember the Game Genie invincibility code. And here's the centipede, which we might have faced earlier. I don't remember for sure. The candle is useful against this centipede. A lot of the enemies will just leave you behind certain things after beating them. Like coins or bombs, maybe a fairy. Yeah, bombs are super important, and here's another warp area. The 9th level, which is called Death Mountain, has a ton of those warp areas. It's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Boy, look how easily I was able to kill that boss. And he's the boss before the Triforce piece. What a pushover. But that was the end of level 7. And now I only have one more heart container collect, and that will be level 8. Yeah, there's one room where he's going to charge you for burning his door. Which is a bush there. And that bush you needed to burn to have access to level 8. This is the second to last dungeon and the last place where I can collect a heart container. But yeah, you'll see that little green square on the map above is you. And there will be a flashing red square, which is where the Triforce is, I think. The Triforce piece. And this time we collect a magic book. And with this magic book, your magic rod that you use, it will burn when it reaches a wall or an enemy. It will burn, and it will hurt an enemy that touches it. And that flame from the magic rod now will light up a dark room. So the candles really, they're not super important anymore. Yeah, and an arrow will only hurt that boss a little bit, or that sub-boss. This, the shape of this dungeon is a lion. And this time around we have 2 items that we can collect, and this one is the magic key. And you won't need to collect keys anymore. You will have infinite keys, and see it just says A. More hints from the old man. And again, you can hit the old man, you can strike him, and then the statues will start spitting fireballs at you, so don't bother hitting the old man. And another dragon with heads that break off. Just keep hitting the body, don't worry about the heads. That's the last heart container. Now I have all 16. Sorry, scratching my face. I need to shave. Boy, did I love this game when I first bought it. I remember renting it a few times before I bought it from the local video stores. And this is where Death Mountain is, and notice it has different music. Creepy music. This map is huge, and like I said before, there are so many warp areas. There are 2 items that you do want to collect here, though. Sorry, I'm drinking a Coke in your ear. Got kind of hot today. Yeah, candle is useful on this particular sub-boss. Anytime that you have an area that you can clearly see that you can push a stone and have access to an underground area, you often need to destroy an enemy first before you can push that stone. I will be doing some new videos, non-video game related videos coming up with my brother, YouTube user Coach Shiley, and they will be restaurant reviews. So look for that coming soon. I will have some other surprises in the near future as well. This is a boss that you need to destroy his rotating shield before you can hurt him. See, beams just go right through him right now. And then you could probably push one of those 2 blocks to open up an underground area. Gotta get your timing right. There we go. Oh, maybe we can't. Nope, we can't. This is a different room. I think we can push one of the blocks. There we go. It's an underground area. Nope, another warp area. But the 2 items that you can collect, one of them you absolutely have to beat the game, and they are silver arrows. They are an arrow upgrade, and you need them to beat the boss. And the other item you can collect is a red ring. So you can kind of see that the map is shaping up to look like a skull for the Skull Mountain. And there is the red ring. And this will reduce the initial damage that the enemies deal out to 1/4. So it protects you a lot better, and it changes your tunic red. I think Link looks like a little devil. Sometimes certain doors will not open until you've beaten all the enemies on that screen. See, it looks like a skull. And this is where I'm gonna go to get the silver arrows. Want to grab that stopwatch. But yeah, watch out for those red puff balls or snowballs or whatever they are, because they will steal your magic shield if you have one, and you'll have to go back and get another in the overworld, or just try not to get hit by wizard beams or strong projectiles. Yep, silver arrows. You must have these to beat Ganon, the final boss. You use your magic sword, or whatever sword you have, to try to hit him. He will be invisible, but you will be able to hit him with your sword. It doesn't have to be the magical sword, it can be the wooden sword. But you want to cause enough damage to him so that eventually he will freeze in place for a few seconds while you've hit him with the magic sword, and then you could fire some silver arrows into him and kill him. And here is Ganon. Pick up that the whole Triforce there. Yeah, you don't shoot the silver arrows at him yet. Hit him with the sword until he turns red. Just shoot all around. You'll eventually hit him. And when he turns red, that's when you want to plug him with arrows. And the silver arrows also cost a rupee apiece, like the original arrows. And we have beaten Legend of Zelda, or let's go upwards first. You have to slash these fires. Don't get hit by them. Slash them. There we go. And then let's go say hi to Princess Zelda. And this is the ending to The Legend of Zelda. There were so many sequels and probably spin-offs and whatnot that are continuing to this day. Fantastic first game in the series. And this game will... it looks like you've wrapped up this game and found all the secrets and whatnot. Nope. No, sir. The next time you play through, enter the name Zelda as your name. And that will allow you to play a game with a lot of the items and dungeons switched around in different locations. And certain enemies will have new abilities, perhaps. Really, really cool of Nintendo to change things around for the next playthrough. What an incredibly deep, awesome game this was. I was just super blown away. Rented it a couple of times, like I said, at the video store, and then bought it. Oh, never looked back. What a fantastic, fantastic first game in the storied Zelda franchise. And, yeah, let's register a new name. Elimination mode lets you take away a game you've already saved, remove it. Yeah, we're going to put in our name Zelda. And note that Link has a white sword held aloft. That means that you've beaten the game once. Let's register and play Zelda. It starts out looking the same. A lot of the locations are the same in this game as the first, but there are some definitely noticeable differences. Ooh, the skeletons can shoot swords now. It's a lot of different changes in the second quest. What a cool game. Well, that was The Legend of Zelda, created by Nintendo in 1986. Game number 1 in R20 from the Nintendo Entertainment System series. Well, I thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at my top 20 games for the NES. Great system. A lot of great games. But also, join me for Coach Shiley and Crazy Climber 80's restaurant reviews coming up. Take it easy, everybody, and stay cool. Bye-bye, folks.